the punch absolutely mattered, but so does Draymond's contract situation right now. And you know what else matters? Clay going into the last year of his contract.
That matters.
That's going to be a story next year. Like you cannot convince me that moving Jordan Poole and now all of a sudden they're together now. They're together. We'll see. I don't believe it.
So I'm up here saying the culture is fixed. You're saying, nah, Goo, it might be some residue. It wasn't just that's interesting. But the reason I'm thinking this way, Steiny, is because of the way that they're moving. And the way that I think this Draymond's contract announcement is imminent. We'll hear about it soon. So if that's which way they're going, they got to know we got rid of the problem. Or 80 to 90% of it.
I guess what I don't understand is,
yeah, Poole, go and get over it, Goo. I'm hearing that.
I just, here's the one thing is, one of the strategies the Warriors were looking at in the offseason after their season ended, and I was talking about, I wasn't crazy about either direction. I might start to come off, the big three. And clearly there's another school of thought that is shared by most people. I think most people. You got to do whatever you can for Steph Curry to keep this window open. That's what most people, I believe, think. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm one of them.
They just made a move that shows you that's what they're doing. So why is everybody so mad or disappointed?
Because Chris Paul can't do what Jordan Poole can do. And
You,
he's 15 years older.
by bringing Poole back, you ensured you couldn't win a title because there was chemistry issues that you knew you could not overcome. So, because you knew this wasn't a championship team with Jordan Poole, for whatever reason, because of Steph, you have to try to get it back to being a championship team. And the only way to do that was to trade Jordan Poole. And the best deal you could make was for Chris Paul, 38, with all his strengths and weaknesses. But make no mistake.
Yeah.
Make no mistake. This is what it looks like to do everything and anything you can for Steph Curry. That's all.
Yeah, and I'll say this to that, Steiny.
So don't be mad.
Do we know if this was the best deal? Now that John Collins, and I know he shot 29% from three, thank you, 510. But Steiny, do we know they got the best package for Jordan Poole? But they got the best package for Jordan Poole if money savings are an issue. Then
Well,
it's
and our
not
guy
about the
Rotzi-
basketball player.
Our guy Rotzi brings up a good point. Is Atlanta's probably trying to do what Washington's doing. So they didn't want Poole's 4 years at big money. You know, the reason the Washington Wizards were able to take Poole's money is because they got off Porzingis, they may be off Kuzma, and they got off Beal. So they need to pay somebody. But Atlanta's still got guys being paid. So I guess that's the way I'll say it. You know, if you were on the side of we owe it to Steph to do everything to try to get him another title, then you can't be mad at this move.
Well, let me ask you this.
Quit complaining.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
Quit crying about it.
Yeah, I ain't crying.
This is what happens when you want to try to get Steph Curry more titles. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but you can't cry about it.
Where's the Steiny meter at going into this season? And I know we're days away from free agency, but I got to be honest. When the Warriors lost to Memphis and Steph didn't score an OT at home, that offseason was rough for me because I'm being honest. I thought it might have been over then. Okay, them winning championships. I ask you on this day, do you feel like this team is where that team was after they lost to Memphis? Like,
No.
This is the worst I felt like for a Warrior team in a long, long time.
That was like 3 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they're worse. See, this is what I mean. 415, why not go get Kuzma?
You can't.
How?
Hello?
How?
I don't know. I don't know.
And
Here's
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I'm starting to hear. Well, maybe we can move Wiggins. Okay, I'm open to that.
Now, yeah, but for what?
But wait a minute. I thought he was your second best player.
Yeah, he is your second best player.
Well, then you better get a damn good player for Andrew
Wiggins. And did I ask you, because I think you asked me, Wiggins for PG-13? Because my boy just cussed me out on text like, I gotta believe Wiggins is better than Paul George.
I bet there's no way Paul George has to be making a lot more than Wiggins. So it'd have to be Wiggins and Kuminga. Now do you want Paul George for Wiggins and Kuminga?
No.
When's Paul George a free agent? I might not scoff at that.
Player option coming up next season.
For what, $79 million?
Only 48.
Okay.
Good God. 48, man.
Rob's in San Bruno.
Our guy.
What's up, Rob?
What's going on, fellas?
Talk to us, man.
You got to understand.
The
Warriors got 3 guys who can score 20-plus points tonight. Wiggins can get you 20. He's been doing his whole career. Steph can get you 35. Clay can get you 25. They already have that. Poole doesn't bring what they need. I like Poole. But Poole is like D'Angelo Russell and the other cat they brought in. I forgot his name. But they're young. They're hungry. They're ready to get on the floor and eat. They don't fit what the Warriors want to do. They're too talented to be telling them, just play this way. I think Chris Paul, in my opinion, coming off the bench, he's going to get Kuminga going. He's going to get
Moody
and Klay Thompson going. He's Moody. He's going to create offense. It's a difference between being a great passer and a great floor general. Draymond Green can pass within the system they play. Chris Paul can outplay the system and create lanes for different players that, that's not Steph Curry's ability. That's not Klay ability. And that's damn for sure ain't Jordan Poole's ability, nor Draymond. So I think the Warriors fans understand this isn't about CP being a superstar, CP. It's about CP being Jason Kidd, what Jason Kidd was to Dirk Nowitzki when they won that championship, a floor general, setting up different offenses. And I think had they kept Wiseman with Chris Paul, this will be a better move. But I think the Warriors got to get some size, rid themselves of Draymond Green, let Kuminga grow with CP, because CP for sure going to get Kuminga some alley-oops, some open looks, and they need to find a way to get it big, because right now, this is a Jokic league. He bullied all the big names and won a ring. This is a Jokic league. You got to stop Jokic. Get some bigs who can score, put the ball in the hoop. That was Wiseman, but you all talk down about him like he was the type of scrub, but he got touch at the hoop, and he can dunk everything. Draymond Green can't dunk nothing. Looney can't barely catch and dunk. So at the end of the day, the Warriors need to get bigger, but I'm fine with Steph, Klay, and Wiggins.
All right, Bob. Rob, thanks. Appreciate the call.
He shocked me a little bit. Well, you had 4 dudes, Rob, that could get you 20. You got 3.
This is why people say what they say about you.
And they say stuff about you, too.
No, I'm saying the scoring part. 415, guys, we can still move off CP3 if that doesn't work. His contract is very valuable. Can't move until January.
But that means it was a failure again, though. I get that, and that's a reality.
Okay, now let me play devil's advocate. Now? We play devil's advocate.
Season ain't even started.
Let me play devil's advocate. I'm going to ask you to think a minute. Did you say that about D'Angelo Russell?
Yep.
And they turned D'Angelo Russell into their second best player.
Did.
So, if they move who's to say they couldn't move Chris Paul for a big time player, or at least a guy who fits and maybe he's good for him for 3 or 4 more years.
Wouldn't a situation like that actually apply more to a player like Draymond Green? Because D'Angelo Russell had signed a long contract. Chris Paul's on an expiring contract, so that probably is more valuable to the Warriors. But if things don't go well next season, what's to say they don't try to move one member of the Big Three?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How much do you think you could get for Draymond or Klay if they both have 2 more years left on their deal?
I think teams would be running from both of them.
Running away?
Yes.
So do I.
Now we can keep it real like we always do. Who's more attractive to you at this juncture, Klay or Dre?
When you say attractive, what do you mean?
Just like if you had one roster spot and you had to choose between the two, I'm taking Clay, man. I'm taking a guy that can give me 20, 25 points. I'm taking a guy that if he's on a heater can get me 40 or 50. And that ain't no shade at Draymond Green. But don't act like he's playing 2016 defense. Look around. He's not. And we're asking him to guard the Jokic's. We're asking him to guard all these big dudes, man. Klay Thompson can still get you buckets. And I'm telling you, I know you might laugh at this, Donnie. There are about 4 or 5 teams that are in dire need of shooting that would probably find Trey attractive somehow.
Clay.
Yes. Like the well ain't dry. I know he had a bad series. He wasn't the only one shooting against the Lakers.
From the
We had mentioned his name.
Who?
Montrezl Harrell.
Oh God.
The big fella.
He used to be what happened to him?
Could have stopped after used to be.